Yeah, you should see Polythene Pam. She's so good looking, but she looks like a man. Hello, and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club again for part 4 of my mini-series on my very first self-published book on Liverpool Football Club, entitled Chasing the Impossible and the Sword of Damocles. And without further ado, we'll revert back to the middle of the 2021-2022 season, and a win for the Reds on the south coast that edged them closer to the top of the Premier League again. Mané and Díaz star in yet another stroll in third gear. Brighton 0, Liverpool 2. Throughout the month of February, and now with the Ides of March fast approaching, the Reds have taken a maximum 18 points from 6 league games and have only conceded 1 goal in the process. Leicester, Burnley, Norwich, Leeds, West Ham and Brighton have all been brushed aside on a 15-1 goals aggregate, and the Reds of Liverpool haven't really raised themselves from a third gear stroll, and today was much of the same. This Liverpool team play football from the sporting gods, and even when they don't, or don't have to, they win in a comfortable stroll. Brighton were dreadful today, but as equally dreadful as the game was as a whole. They started each half brightly, dominated the first 15 minutes of scrappy play, and Danny Welbeck saw his last minute header brilliantly saved by Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson Becker. The Brazilian goalkeeper produced this world-class save, having had nothing else to do all game long, as the only highlights for a labouring and slow-paced Brighton fell to their pesky and pacey duo of Neal Maupay and Leandro Trossard. Both strikers had half chances in the opening 8 minutes of the game before, in the opening minute of the second half, and with Liverpool still holding a slender 1-0 lead, the strikers combined scrappily to force a clear and close-in chance for Trossard, who blazed high and wide over Becker's crossbar. It rather summed up Brighton's day. Liverpool was sluggish and off-key in the game's opening quarter of an hour, and only sprung into life for a delicious and defence-splitting pass from the Premier League's current Player of the Month, Joel Matip. His simple curling through ball was bravely headed into an empty Brighton goal by Diaz, who was absolutely flattened by the advancing goalkeeper Robert Sanchez as he did so. Sanchez's unnecessary recklessness and dangerous play should have seen him sent from the field of play, but incredibly his clattering challenge did not even warrant a yellow card from referee Mike Dean or those killjoy characters who manned the VAR booth. Mo Salah raced half the length of the field on the cusp of the half-time break, but couldn't find a way past Sanchez in the Brighton goal, and the half could be summed up simply as one of tricks and flicks from a Liverpool happy to be leading in a game really going nowhere. Mané's overhead flick to start an attack was a sublime joy to see, and so was the industrious nature of Diaz and his instant control, deft touches, flicks and 1-2 passes around the Brighton penalty area. Salah's successful conversion of a 60th minute penalty to make the score 2-0 was in the middle of a 5-minute spell that Brighton midfielder Yves Bissouma will be endeavouring to forget in a hurry. His anger at a refereeing decision saw him yellow carded before his outstretched arm led to the penalty kick, before mere moments later he was substituted. Salah too was strangely substituted not long after scoring his penalty, and the goal that would seal the contest is finished and 3 points securely gained for his team. Let's hope he hasn't picked up an injury and his substitution just a precaution. It would be perfectly in keeping with a game that, with 29 minutes still remaining and after Salah's penalty made the scoreline 2-0, a contest that was now firmly, truly over. Welbeck's header forced a truly brilliant one-handed save from Alisson Becker, but the game had been over for a long time before this last-minute piece of brilliance from the Brazilian in the Liverpool goal. A third gear stroll in the South Coast sunshine, and whisper it, the Reds are closing the gap at the top of the Premier League. So that brings us to the end of part 4 of a mini-series of selected chapters from my self-published book in May of this year on the mighty Reds of Liverpool. It's a book I'm incredibly proud of. There are links below for ways that you could buy it or support me in other ways. But as I take a slurp of my tea, as you can see, for the occasion, with my Liverpool mug, I will leave you, as I always do, in a Beatles t-shirt, and in peace, and in solidarity. And thanks very much for watching.